In time. Today we've got a collab with my bro, Nesipho. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Nesipho. I've been playing chess for, a while now, actually. Ukhozi here taught me just about everything I know. Favorite format is Bullet, as bad as it might be for this stream.
Yeah, well, I think he's a little bit better than I am now, in general. Okay, so today we're going up against some higher rated bots that are much stronger than either of us, and we're just gonna talk through our strategy. Alright, so we like d4, queen's pawn.
I mean, D4.
I thought I said d4.
You might have. I just heard E4.
And c4 against the Indian.
That's what I usually play.
East Indian. Okay. Now, just knight c6 is fine. It's, if I recall, it is one of the main line moves, and just let the bishop. Yeah.
Right, let the bishop pin. I usually play A3, but knight C3 is fine to my understanding.
Do you know if a3 is, if knight c3, bishop b4, a3 is just fine, and if this trade is just fine?
Uh, it's probably slightly suboptimal.
Let's go ahead and go with an a3 line then.
Okay.
Yeah, c4 makes sense. Is just defending with the knight fine?
I mean, that's probably fine, but is there something better? We might even be able to theoretically push the d-pawn.
Hmm. I don't know that I'm a fan of that. Now, leaving this and having the queen take back is probably not great.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps e3 could be viable situationally. I don't like getting the bishop blocked, though.
Yeah. I do know there are some lines where it's just better to let the bishop get blocked. I don't recall it off the top of my head. Well, if I saw it, I would know it. It's not this line, though. But there might be some transposition that I'm just not aware of.
I think this defense is fine.
Right, but after takes, the knight isn't particularly doing anything there, and it doesn't really have anywhere to go from that position.
Would putting on b3, I wonder. Maybe we try to support this pawn with knights. He's thinking.
No,
Meanwhile,
knight to b3 does not look very good. I'm just not happy with giving up the center so easily to the c-pawn. Because say we give up the center, our queen side's just kind of weak.
hmm? Well, now it's not like these are ones that we really want.
Mm-hmm.
So then we've got to look at takes. And let's say takes.
The first thing that comes to mind there is just b4, kicking the bishop out.
Now this might be...
Yeah, there might be some tactics.
Then of course b5's fine anyways. Well, yeah, if this immediately b4 is certainly
Right.
just fine. Now it's also not like we're giving up the center. Even we'd have the c pawn, and
Well, the c pawn's hard to support because the a pawn's already been pushed, which I guess is my bad for my suggestion of that.
well, I kind of like queen c2 somewhat recently.
And develop the bishop, or not the knight to d2 after moving the bishop out.
Could do.
I don't know, it feels clunky, especially then later want to get a rook out.
Well, let's see. If this... If that trade happens, then this sort of thing, or even this sort of thing, maybe.
I think if we don't take the pawn back... Or is this after taking the pawn back, or...
Well, yeah, after
Okay.
taking the pawn back.
Because, like, if we don't take the pawn back immediately, we're going to get hit with e5.
Right. This feels kind of bad to me for...
For some reasons.
I think it lets black just get too much without us having
compensation.
much out just yet.
Right, he's developed. Neither of us really have the center, but...
So I think I like knight f3.
I still kind of like the idea of d5. Because if we then later get knight to c3, it reinforces the moving the pawn to a3, and then we can...
Sorry, repeat that?
So with d5 after takes, if takes, that I should theoretically suppose not takes, but in takes, we can then move the bishop, or the knight, the knight to c3, and then a pawn to e4, and it supports both of those, and it also reinforces the pawn to a3 for just kind of defending the knight.
That's an idea.
Although, if it doesn't take...
It feels a bit extended. I'm not really sure I'd want to go into this sort of line. I rather prefer development. Now you've played a3 against the East Indian, but I guess you haven't faced the East Indian that much
and not at this
and
level.
not seen this. I think it feels a bit... I think it feels a bit overextended to me.
Mm-hmm. I do like that it makes his knight kind of passive, though.
This one?
The other knight. I'd have to either go to a6 or push the d pawn right up against stars, and then do something with that. That's, of course, assuming that there isn't some other developmental moves that let him negate the passiveness of knight.
If after taking... I wonder if it's possible for black to just leave the pawn there and bring the bishop out somewhere and, well, of course, castle, and then how we'd progress in that kind of position.
White castle, they'd probably just try to explode the position, break the just everything.
If black castled?
Yeah, black castle, because if they just leave the pawns there, then they're not going to be attacking queenside. Well, not very effectively. And attacking kingside is
okay. So after
mediocre.
Getting some development, things like b4, maybe b5.
But I think they just try to open everything up and then kind of have a semi-kingside open attack, if that makes sense. Like removing the f-pawn and then after castling, and your king's kind of exposed, but opens up the rook.
Like this? Well, they'd probably want to play against an isolated d-pawn. Although actually this pawn would be... So it wouldn't be quite like that.
Yeah, the more I look at that, the less I like d5.
Okay, you don't like d5 much?
Not in the long term. Assuming they castle short. Well, they've kind of committed to that.
Yeah, they're not castling long, eh? Yeah, I think knight f3 is just fine. Let's go with that.
Okay. Takes with knight, yep.
Alright, pretty
standard move.
Normal development.
I'd say bishop to f4.
Yeah. Oops.
Can we not just take... What did we miss? What am I missing? That's my question. Why can't we take? Nope. I mean, what's the worst that happens? There's some
this? That, I mean, this would be pretty bad. But not worse than just losing this, probably.
Right.
I gotta remember that kind of thing in the future. So, shall we take...
I'm looking to see if there's a tactical solution.
Right.
Oh.
Oops, that is not what I did not mean to click that. Let's just new game that. I did not mean to click that. That was a misclick. Oh, now we're black. Okay.
That's fine.
That's fine.
D5.
Yeah.
Bishop to F5 is what I
Yeah,
play.
yeah. Now we can go ahead and right away with E6, yeah.
I might do a knight to F6, actually. I couldn't tell you which one's
Knight
better,
F6.
just because if you do E6, I don't really want to take back with the pawn.
Right.
And if you take with the king, it invites knight to C3.
And we've done this kind of thing, but
Not happy about that.
But actually, I like this kind of structure that can come up in sort of an a caro that's like this. So I do like knight f6. Any objections to knight f6?
No. That was my suggestion.
Yes, it was. It was so. All right.
Okay, that's... new.
Well, yeah, I don't think I've seen that kind of move. It does prepare this.
It does.
So I think in this case, probably this is a line that has been seen, and that one's probably not great. So I do sometimes like a knight on b6. Maybe it'd be this one sometimes in positions like this.
Mm-hmm.
Knight back to f6 is probably just fine.
You also do need to be wary of queen to a4 with check at some point.
Right? Okay, so do we prefer knight b6 then? That shuts anything like that down.
Yeah, I like knight b6.
Mm-hmm. Probably bishop g6.
Mm-hmm.
And white's got something of a center here, but if this kind of... Well, in the exchange card, this pawn's not there, but... I think just this is proper.
Yeah. Just opens up pieces.
Yeah.
a5.
Immediate a5. Yeah, that's probably strongest.
Although it does sort of trap the c-pawn until the knight gets moved. Well, I guess not if the queen doesn't move.
Well, we don't want this knight kicked.
Right. Yeah, I do
So
think a5 is the
we're just not going to worry about it just yet.
c6.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what this is doing. It looks kind of silly to me.
Well, it does force the c-pawn to move. And then if, bishop moves back...
Yeah,
the knight...
probably just knight d7. And
right.
Now, probably this... Well, this idea might have to do with that.
Anyways, just right now.
Do we...
Because what is the bishop doing there? If he takes, then we just take with the queen and
Do
be
we have
development.
any reason not to? Actually, this pawn's not stuck because we've got this.
Right. But it does sort of, not taper, overload, well, potentially overload the queen onto the knight.
Right. But if we like this sort of structure anyways, then do we have any reason not to gain tempo by kicking the bishop? Unless we're missing some tactic.
I honestly really like knight, yeah, that knight.
Knight d7.
Because what's the bishop going to do? Take? And then we have the bishop pair. I mean, the position's not looking great for bishops right now, but endgame come, it might be.
That would look kind of silly, eh?
And it's
taking.
Yeah. So I don't think.
So the question
take,
then
is
this would d5 be an issue that we'd want a pawn here or not want a pawn here for? Because if we don't care, then okay, we can just not push the pawn just yet and decide to push it later. You know, maybe even c5 if there's if it ends up being appropriate.
And this is a bit off topic right now, but we can pin the bishop on, or the knight on d2 with our black squared bishop, and then threaten to take e4. And it's a bit off topic right now, but it's
okay.
It's there.
Okay.
Whether we'll actually get an opportunity to do that, I don't know.
Well, one thing this does, of course, is just let white castle.
So if we did something like knight to d7, white castles. Because it's like, we're not really doing anything against that bishop either. And then we need to still develop the castle to get out of the pin.
Well, or play c6.
Or play c6.
So where's this bishop best positioned? Is e7...
b4 looks comfortable, although it invites a trade at some point with bishops. Oh, actually, what am I talking about? We can just play c6 and then later move the knight to d7 and our knight's protected. We can just leave
the reason we were looking at this first was because this is a pawn push. But I figured that was fine.
Right. I was more worried about tethering the queen to the knight. But
yeah. If we've got this sort of thing, I don't think we.
Yeah.
Then I think it's enough. That was arrows. Okay, I think it's fine. Let's go.
We don't have to do that right away. We don't have to move the queen yet.
Move the knight.
Right, move the knight. So now we actually have the option of playing bishop to b4.
Yeah, well, after castles...
Takes, then we win a pawn.
Yeah, Now, if this pawn goes here... Well, that's something white can do at any time here.
That is true.
But do we... How much would we care?
Well, if white does that, then we can always plant our knight on d5, although it will potentially leave our b-pawn hanging once our knight gets removed. Or our bishop, wow.
Well, maybe if white plays e5 at some point, we just undermine immediately with c5. And that's one reason why we might play this first. Or we might... Well, actually, white's just going to castle, but...
Yeah.
Um, I still kind of like knight d7 first, although I'm not quite sure why necessarily.
Right. It leaves our options open.
Right, we haven't committed where exactly this bishop is going
Right.
yet, so I think that's fine. Let's go with that. Queen e3. Okay, what is this? Is that a thing? Not really. Eh?
And even if it was defended, he does something to defend it. We can just move the bishop, and then it can't happen. It looks like he's going for a kingside attack.
Yeah.
In which case, I am kind of a fan of pinning that knight. Well, the knight won't be pinned for long. It'll just castle. Just because if the knight's pinned, the bishop can't get out.
Well, it's quite possible white just wants to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, that is true. Hold up. No, never mind. For a bit, I thought there was a
And
hanging
one
pawn.
thing this can do is prevent that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because this knight doesn't want to stay there, really.
Right, so even if we
Probably.
did bishop to b4, he just pushes the pawn, and then there's no fork there, which I had been looking at, although it didn't look
and
particularly better.
I wonder if this sort of thing would make the rook look silly. Depending on how well this can be pushed.
I think I'm most worried about being suffocated right now. If he gets too much space, and I'm more worried about space on kingside. I'm not sure what to do kingside, but...
Okay, well... we could probably make defenses along lines...
We need to remove... I feel like we need to remove one of his pieces. But then that just adds his
because
bishop
the
in
thing is, anytime white pushes this, we just get this, and I think we're probably just fine. I think that even if this isn't... Excuse me. Even if it isn't clear how this may or may not help, I think...
It just feels
I
right.
think it's overall enough resources in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, again, this undermining. I think bishop e7 is fine. I think we've got enough here that can participate.
Mm-hmm. So what do we do in the meantime?
I think we just do bishop e7. Well, yeah, the question is actually...
Queenside attack or kingside defense?
I think
Queenside attack isn't looking very viable.
Yeah, and I think I like this better with our bishop behind it rather than in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think bishop e7.
Okay, hold up. Let me make sure there are no tactics to ruin fine structure real quick.
to ruin our structure?
The bishop, we haven't moved the h-pawn on yet, and so the bishop is fine. It looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Alright, white castles, we castle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course h4 was kind of unviable there.
What are we going to do with our bishop? I feel like it
This
might
one?
be better just to trade it off. Doesn't seem to be doing much.
To trade off this bishop?
Yeah. Because I feel like
Okay.
defensively, it's not going to do a ton as it is right there. Or maybe it is going to. I've been losing these kinds of positions a lot recently.
Maybe we try this. Oh, we've got, yeah, okay, we've got enough at least right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this pawn push, and then this pawn, if it doesn't push, maybe it's a liability, actually. I wonder.
Well, say c5 and then d5.
Okay, okay.
I don't know. It makes her c pawn
that's a little...
awkward. Because even if we're up the exchange on pawns, it just... Ugh.
Well, maybe then we have this sort of thing.
Not if he pushes the d pawn.
Well, suppose we trade.
Take with knight on b6. I corrupt the pawn, but it feels a bit...
Right, because then what we'd like is something like this or this. Or if the knight's attacked, we'd want to go back somewhere.
That being said, I'm still not opposed to c5.
Let's go ahead and go c5. And if this happens later, then we'll just try to push the pawn at some point.
Push the pawn, remove... Well, not remove. Move the knight and do some kind of pawn push. Yeah, sure, why not?
Let's go for it. Maybe just take the pawn.
Pushing it looks unviable.
Yeah. With this still... Now, rook c8's probably good at some point.
Actually, it looks good right now, if you ask me.
Yeah. It's... I just wasn't sure whether...
Like, we're in no hurry to explode the center.
Is that so? Do we prefer white having something like that?
Well, white didn't play it. Sparingly,
right, white didn't play it.
White would play it now. Plus, we're still up a pawn in that variation.
Well, maybe we take and we plant this knight. Now, maybe we need to move the queen off the file first, but...
But I don't see any reason we're in a rush. Because really, him moving his rook over there only really makes it sort of dubious with taking currently. But other than that, I don't see any
Are
other
you
real change.
I'm not sure that's necessarily the only thing it does though, because uh hmm.
Let's see. If pawn push takes, queen has to move. Where does it go?
Right. Not over here. Not over there.
B3.
Uh,
B3 threatens the pawn on the B pawn, and then also the knight.
uh-huh.
But if we had our maybe
Now if we did
yeah, but
now
if we
if
had
we
a
did
rook on
this,
C8, we have a fork. So
we'd have a fork.
oh no, we wouldn't. The pawn's still yeah. Never mind. We would almost have a fork.
I think I'd prefer having this file open for our rook, rather than having white push this at any point.
I don't
the
think
idea
white
of
will
being
take
up a
next,
pawn.
or I don't think white will push next turn.
Yeah, because then we go up a pawn, right? And then everything's
And so
solid enough that we could just retreat.
I think it's fine to play it now.
Let's go ahead and play rook c8. Yeah.
Okay, that pawn really wants to be pushed, but it looks bad still. Or I really want to push the pawn. But yeah, there's not enough supporting it.
Yeah, I'd rather take here.
So
this bishop would be reopened.
Right. So take, but then where do we move the queen?
Well, this kind...
Actually, takes with queen. That knight is looking very... Well, if he takes with the queen, we can just move the knight and the exchange is fine.
Why would take with the queen?
Right, because if we try to just move our... I was saying that if we try to move our queen... Oh, no, we still have another knight there.
We've got this knight.
I was talking about the knight defending that knight.
I don't know what you're referring to.
It's fine. The variation I was looking at is fine.
Let's go ahead and take.
And now where do we move the queen?
What if we did e5 at this point, though? I guess immediately it's no good. I wonder about... that's a bit annoying. Now c7 probably ain't bad.
I'd much rather the rook in front. Although...
I wonder if that would be slower than would be ideal, though. Or whether it's just fine. Now, how far can we put this rook? And not get ourselves into trouble.
Well, there they just do bishop to E, or D3.
Yeah.
Probably the furthest would be to C6. Although that does later invite the knight to D4.
That's a little awkward. Oh, and this is hanging.
Oh, and that is hanging. How many turns has that been hanging?
Since the knight moved there. Well, we had danger levels for a move there. So what about this one now? And then maybe put the queen on e7? I wonder.
We still lose the pawn in that variation. Ah, I see. We're looking at a different variation. Well, same variation, different move order. What if... Oh, that doesn't work.
What were you looking at?
Threatening... So we have a potential fork by placing our bishop onto c5. Or not a fork, a pin.
A pin, potentially.
I was just wondering if we can...
I wonder how that would go. It'd probably be fine for us.
Takes the pawn. Comes with check. But yeah, that'd be fine. I'm just wondering if there's something we can do to threaten, or like move our knight to threaten that fork. And just do a danger levels. In fact, actually, we could just play it right now and he has to take with the knight. And
which one?
Develop.
Here?
So yeah, if we do that, he has to take with the knight, and then we take with our rook. And then the pawn's no longer hanging, and our rook is developed. Or at least in theory, he has to take with the knight. Let's see.
I'm not sure if I like how that looks. I think probably it gives white some annoying tactics somehow.
I'm not seeing it.
Maybe not immediate tactics, but I don't like the position. It feels kind of out of place to me. But I do like this sort of thing, or this sort of thing regardless of what that bishop is doing.
I'd much rather develop the rook.
Now, do you like so? Or?
No, by the pin and then the exchange.
Where does this rook want to go then?
Just
or
to make a battery
back somewhere.
We do have to be wary of a pin after b3. Or no, because our bishop would still be there.
Things related to this. Things like that.
I still think it looks fine. Just as long as we're careful.
Well, the best thing to do would be to get this queen out of this pin, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm more worried about the hanging pawn immediately.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we play this. And this.
And then we play queen to c7. And then rook to c8. And then we have a triple battery.
Well, they don't even have to take... Maybe they could even go like this.
And we get the rook.
And maybe something like that.
Hmm.
Especially if this is also loose, and then I think that maybe white has a good attack then. I'm not sure.
I think then
Who
we just
knows how to
play
read?
queen to c7. Something like...
Sort of try to triple up.
Right, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Hmm. Well, if... maybe... Uh, maybe this one.
I would say queen to c7.
Yeah. Of course, that's not tripling up. Or...
Right.
Uh... So, a question is, what do we have on this file depending on how many pieces we have on it? And how the game goes.
Either way, I think it diverts attention from our king and it puts us on the attack, as opposed to him being on the attack. And I'd much rather be the one attacking.
Well, suppose this does happen. What's white's next move? I wonder about stuff like this. I think that would be pretty annoying.
Then I say we still do... Oh, right. Oh, actually...
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Oh, boy. What was it?
Knight e5.
E5. Can we just take?
Oh,
But ignoring that, I was thinking this
And who
isn't
cares
actually
about that?
all that bad. Although if we're planning on tripling up, that does look kind of weird. I'm just personally not super opposed to doubling up pawns next to my king if it opens up a file that I for my rook.
Right. Then wouldn't this pawn be a liability?
It would be, yes. But as we said, that line is fine. Or
Well,
as we
we could do this one, right? Although maybe opening up the rook was better.
I'm not a fan of taking with the h-pawn.
Sometimes I like this. I don't know if I've been successful with it.
F-pawn with king to f7. That or not f7, f6. That could be a thing, but yeah. Either way, I think c5 is optimal here in my bullet opinion.
On the other hand, whatever white does after this is just asking to be played, and then we could even do this sort of thing. And then, I know it's behind a pawn, but I'm going to draw that arrow anyways.
I think one of our biggest assets right now is that he can't develop his rook on the a file just because the bishop's stuck there, and he can't develop the bishop until the queen moves. Well, or until the knight moves and then the pawn moves.
Sorry, what, this bishop...
He has to develop the bishop. In order to do that, he has to move something else first.
Does white have to move something before developing this bishop?
I suppose not. Although that development, I guess it does threaten the a-pawn.
And then long term, about the defense of this knight, is it... And, well, as long as... Anytime this knight would be taken, we could take back like that.
Mm-hmm. But I really like the queen on c7, but I'd prefer it to not be in the front. Because it defends the a-pawn, well, through the knight. But it also defends the knight on d7. And it just kind of leaves us versatile.
Well, tell me this. After something like this, even if white trades some stuff off on this side of the board, then where's white's attack? If we end up with a rook here, are we a little bit vulnerable? Or is it just not a problem?
I think the attack is the threat on the a-pawn.
Yeah.
To win it. And then just promote a pawn.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Or win material in it, the attempt to do so.
Well, if we do end up with this rook out here, and then later there's this bishop...
Right, the rook does defend the a-pawn.
Is there... It does, at least there. The question is there a constant threat on this a-pawn as opposed to something like this where either the bishop sits here or the pawn takes it? I wonder... Maybe that sort of thing would end up being annoying.
Honestly, if pawn takes, that pawn still looks like a liability. That pawn does not look defendable on b4.
It doesn't... Yeah, I guess it's kind of bad. Like that.
I just don't see a way to defend it on b4. And a5 looks bad.
And this
Right.
thing maybe is not great.
And our knight doesn't exactly have anywhere to go currently.
Yeah, okay, what would... Oh,
no, I couldn't tell you like an exact move order, but it
I wonder...
feels bad. Actually,
maybe we're just faster.
I think a5 there hits too hard. Where's our bishop or knight gonna go? a8. It's terrible.
What if instead of this we had something like that? That would be kind of awkward.
Are we actually up a tempo here?
Let's see. Oh, we're not. Alright, yeah, let's try bishop c5.
Okay.
Takes,
Oh, I actually didn't
takes with
consider take
rook.
with knight. I didn't even consider that. I mean, I
That's,
still think.
no
Oh,
good.
that's no good. You're right. You're right. That's why I didn't consider it.
Okay, okay. Well,
Uh,
that was kind of ended up being inevitable.
right. Take with pawn, take with rook, queen. C7.
What about just that?
That is also a thing. What about take with rook, and then we just plant our rook on a5?
Take with rook.
He takes the pawn back with rook.
I'm asking about that.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Uh,
Do we have any other options?
do we have anything good?
I guess no. There's nowhere really good to place the rook.
There's nowhere for this rook to go that's any good.
That doesn't get it trapped. Well, yeah, that's what any good means.
Well, we could potentially bring the knight back to c8 instead of a8 and sort of transfer it this way.
I was actually thinking to a7. Well, that's dubious. It's dubious.
Yeah, it feels dubious with that sort of tension
And
possible.
just with the queen already.
So let's take this, I suppose.
Yeah.
c8.
Yeah. The pawn's dead to me. I don't care about it.
Yeah, we're up a pawn. We don't have to stay up a pawn.
So we do have to worry about.
Well, this is something.
So, wait. Can we just take a7 or a5? No, because rook takes, queens takes, bishop takes, and it's a fork. Although we have check.
I don't know if it does much.
It removes the fork.
Yeah.
And that a pawn is kind of scaring me.
Now, later, would we prefer the knight here? Do you think? Oh, and what about danger levels now?
I think there he just moves the rook.
Right.
Up or even to c4.
Somewhere.
And then, yeah, I don't like that.
Then just takes.
Oh yeah, and he just
yeah,
takes.
That would be no good. Let's try taking the a pawn and well, I also don't like how that hangs.
Oh, that is hanging. You're right.
If this a pawn, well, it's not a problem just yet.
No.
Right.
So what if we
So
just
maybe
played
the
something
most
like
annoying thing is that.
e8 or
E
rook to e8? My bad.
is possible. Uh, well, suppose takes, and we just do something like that or something like that. And say that we're just gonna kill that pawn.
That leaves the b pawn exposed, and he's pushing for promotion.
This one?
Yeah.
Uh, so maybe we'd want something like this, and maybe this, or this.
What was the line that we didn't like about taking on a5?
Well, I guess white ought to take here.
Right, takes.
No, that.
Right, that leaves that hanging immediately.
But if we do push this, now is this, how would that go? Would we be happy with something like that? And would we...
His bishops are controlling queenside too much, or kingside. I just don't like the control he has over kingside there, with that a pawn being so close to promotion.
Queenside.
Did I say kingside?
Yeah.
That is queenside. Yes, you are right. Yeah.
What was the other line? Something like this. Well, there was that. There's that.
What about, yeah, so...
I think this sort of thing, anything along those lines, might be strong enough.
Yeah, e5... e5 is looking better to me with each passing moment, although it doesn't really solve any of our problems.
Good question. Maybe we just want something like Queen c7 right now. Well, one thing is...
c7 still leaves a pin.
Sorry, where?
Bishop takes b4.
Oh, yeah. Well, that, of course, would be danger levels.
Right. And then take... Well, he can't. He can't really take, actually, with the bishop. Because we take rook. Oh, I guess no, that does work still. Okay.
You mean in this line?
Right. Because if we take the rook, then the queen's hanging. But I realize we can just take the queen and we're still pinned. Unless we have a...
Well, if we do this...
Oh, actually...
If we do this...
We take rook, he takes with queen, knight to f6.
Sorry, show me. Mouse is being weird.
No, I'm just incompetent with a mouse.
Okay.
Da.
Take rook.
Take. And then if he takes queen, we just...
Then we're on...
Oh, and then we're still just...
And then we're...
Yeah, that doesn't remove the pin. Never mind. Although, we did still get that rook. So,
well, then
I think it's fine.
Then, something like... Wait.
Oh, no, that variation was terrible.
Then... Yeah, then what would we do? Because then we're down some pawns and still potentially losing a rook for...
Well, we just want a rook.
Yeah, but that we'd be down the pawns.
Right.
And so the question then is... could we get an... Being up a rook, could we get an exchange sacrifice somehow by making this queen do something? Or if we could defend this rook with another piece like that. Was that K? And I'd prefer not to allow e5 later. Mm-hmm. So if it is K to do this, then I'd like to. Now, of course, if this we're not... Maybe... Again, we're probably okay with that, although...
Yeah, we just do queen c7.
Yeah. And build up...
And hope that, we don't
something
die.
Like this, or whatever.
I wouldn't say it's okay, but it's less bad.
I don't know that we're necessarily in a bad position here. Maybe we are. We're kind of backwards, I guess. And this pawn, I'm not sure how much of an issue it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think e5's fine?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what white does.
No,
that makes sense.
Can we pull a danger levels anywhere? Well, most I see danger levels, it doesn't win material or compensate for material, but it like wins us a pawn for the knight. Or something like that.
Show me.
Wait. Either I forgot some move order or I don't know chess.
Now, I wonder if this... Well, that would be a pawn, if that. And if this, then...
And
Then...
then
Then maybe it's...
actually we would get compensation for the 2 rooks.
compensation.
But that's...
But
cool.
this is a pawn.
I'd say take that with a rook, or with the queen, and then we lose our pawn. But it's a pawn. It's the losing, but it's a pawn.
Yeah. We are losing now. Maybe it might be the best we've got here. Let's try this, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll just,
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. What?
Alright, let's see why we're in trouble here. Okay, okay.
Is he threatening mate? I guess our pieces are kind of
we've
bad,
got compensation. We're up
I
a pawn
noticed...
somehow? When did we get up a pawn?
I notice rook to... Well, yeah, that's what I see.
Okay.
He just defends it, though, but...
I was just counting stuff for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did we go up a pawn? We were up a pawn for a bit here when we took that.
Right, because he never took back.
Okay. So maybe we can hold a draw. Probably we're not going to win, but who knows? Yeah, what is our plan in this position?
Develop.
This knight's kind of stupid.
It needs to do something. Oh, that has... I mean, A7 works. And then potentially can get it to B6. Assuming there aren't any, tactics.
So
I feel like what we need to do is simplify.
I feel like if we can coordinate these rooks, we can defend. I'm not
Right.
sure what exactly we'd be doing to coordinate the rooks.
But what we need to do is somehow get, like, 2 rooks versus... Wait, what's this? Okay. If we can get 2 rooks versus queen, I think we're golden.
You think so? It's tricky.
It's tricky, but I think 2 rooks is better than... The question is it even possible to get that? Here's the bishop pair. I think we need to... I think our plan should be to remove one of the bishops currently, without losing one of the rooks. The bishop pair is just really powerful.
Well, now this bishop, how do we...
Activate it.
Yeah. Anytime this queen moves, maybe we'd have something there to...
we also have knight to c6.
What?
C6. Oh, d6. Except that hangs mate, so... Well, not mate. It hangs a rook, because it would threaten mate. Because knight takes... rook takes, queen to c5. Oh, no, I guess that doesn't hang mate. We just move back.
I'm not quite sure what you're looking at there.
Our back rank is a bit vulnerable right now.
It is, it is.
Could we potentially push that b-pawn?
To what end?
Well, not right now, but... Yeah, I still think our plan needs to be to trade one of the bishops off. Or trade something for one of his bishops. I'm liking c6 the more I look at it.
D6?
Yes, d6.
Does this threaten anything?
Pawn, e5 or e4.
Okay. Would our rooks be getting themselves into trouble?
Could bring the rook back to a8 if need
I'm
be.
like, I feel like maybe we should try to consolidate first. I'm not sure. Well, if this, then what's our next
We need
move?
to move the knight.
Let's try knight d6. Let's hope we don't get into big trouble here.
Like that. Big trouble like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have to play rook to a8. Rook a1 to a8. Oh, that's so bad. Yeah, no, I think we're definitely losing.
We have no vision. We can't see the chessboard properly. In some sense.
Yeah, we have nothing. Maybe rook to somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, because then he just takes with the queen.
Now, what does this one look like?
If he takes with bishop, rook to a6. Nope, that hangs a rook.
This would...
White squared bishop.
Yeah. This would probably be no good. I think...
So what about just like e8? Oh, queen can still take. Well, no, e8, and then bishop takes e4. Like, it's still terrible, but it's something. Oh, and then he just plays bishop to b5. I don't like the bishop pair. But I like it when I have the bishop pair.
I think we can resign now.
Yeah, probably. Although maybe play on a bit more.
Where's the resign button?
It's the flag.
There it is.
I do kind of want to play on a little bit longer.
What do you want to do?
I mean, I would play e8. I mean, I see the terrible... I see what's coming, and I just...
Well, what if we played rook a8 and then took instead of doing like e8 or whatever? That
yeah, okay.
feels a bit more solid.
Okay. Oh, he takes with the... Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking he takes with the bishop. Any deflections? No.
Is just trying to consolidate any good at all?
Probably
Oh,
not.
wait. That's just
yeah, I'm like...
no good.
What about kick the knight out and then try to consolidate?
Why would we do that?
Oh, that's a terrible move. You're right. I still think we should try kicking the knight out.
Just cause we want to see what's up.
Yep. Oh, we get a fork.
Yeah.
And we can't even take back.
And it's a...
Yeah, it comes with check.
It's not a windmill exactly, but it's less... Yeah, we can resign here. Alright. Let's...
See where we
talk
went
to the coach.
terribly wrong.
Yeah. Book move. Okay.
Okay, so my move was terrible.
Yeah. So let's well, is there any difference if we do that? The bishop's not hanging. I'm gonna try this. Yeah, that's also no good.
No.
Alright. What should we be doing here?
Danger levels now, maybe?
Do we try Queen C7?
Just give up the pawn.
Well, the pawn's not dead yet.
No, it is not. It would be after they take with the knight.
Oh, you're right. I was
What are danger levels?
I want to just look at this first.
Oh, it's best. Okay.
But let's look at this.
Everything's a blunder. Oh, yeah.
Eh. Okay, so just Queen C7. I don't know. I don't know if I'm strong enough to know what the difference is. Musicasi. Now, I guess somehow we're...
Oh, I think we missed something that was worse than this. So what did we end up doing?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then...
Wait.
You're
Wait,
retrying
what?
for white.
Oh, I'm... Somehow I got a little confused there. What?
You're retrying for white again.
I thought I...
Go forward one more move.
Hold on.
That's white again. Go forward one more. There you go.
Okay,
Danger levels? Actually, yeah. I think it's danger levels. Or nope, it's not danger levels. It's thinking. Probably hits me. Oh, it does hit me.
I wonder if A8 was better for any reason. Nope. Maybe it just wants us to ignore it, and we're losing already, but...
Mm-hmm. Computer does do weird things when we're losing.
Yeah.
C7?
I don't know.
That's not
Nope. Probably A8, actually.
it. Oh, that makes sense.
And yeah, we're still losing. Just... Well, anyways, let's just go to the end here. Thanks for playing.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have to do this again sometime when we've gotten good.
Hopefully we actually get there.
We'll get good. Eventually.
Eventually.
I... Bye, folks, and remember to keep studying. Oh, wait. Not this.